Hello. He got me turning on some cameras. I have moved my camera right here, and I don't think I like it. It's in the wrong position. But hello, welcome everybody. Looks like Mahela, you want to say hi? You did this early, so yeah, I'm doing good. A lot of busy times right now. A lot of busy times, and with the conference and stuff going on. I'll talk about the conference later. But yeah, we're doing good. Today, I'm doing a Quad Helix, and it's a special kind of Quad Helix. And I had to actually call the doctor. So on the Easyrx, they put the regular thing. I added these, but they wrote Quad Helix with adjustable arms to push incisors to the buckle. Now, there's a couple things. I read this wrong, and then I think the assistant kind of typed it wrong, because buckle, I'm thinking the buckle, the sides. So they were gonna, they wanted the Quad Helix to expand the upper incisors, and incisors I was thinking lateral incisors for some reason. And I was looking at the model, and usually when that happens, there's two centrals and there's two, they're like stacked and behind each other, the centrals and laterals. And I thought they was going to take the laterals and move them over. You sometimes do that on expanders, you know, if the laterals are in a bad position. But these laterals were almost perfect. They didn't, and so I had to call. And actually, the doctor got on the phone and was like, "Oh, Kate, I didn't know what to put on there." And what the assistant should have typed, and I think it would have got me, is if they said to push upper incisors facially. So they want to push these facially or forward. And so I was like, oh, I think I know what you need. And I call it lap springs. And I was actually going to have, what was I going to have on there? I don't know what I was going to have. Oh, Easyrx on here. I wonder if I could pull that up real quick and see what they said on here. Easyrx. So I do have to fit the bands and do all that fun stuff also. So now this is one of the doctors that they actually provide bands for me. And hopefully I have some, and they do need to send some more. So when they were on the phone with me, they said, hey, Kate, I know I got to send you some more bands. So they're waiting they just bought another practice, so they're a little busy themselves. So let's see if I can go to a template here. So you don't, because this is my software. Let me present this. Share screen, Easyrx. Window, no, Chrome. Yeah, share. That's not the one I wanted. Share this tab. That's the one I wanted. Okay, so this is template name. Let's say call this Quad Helix. Helixes are those coils of wires. So if I put Quad, let's see what they got here. And you can see previews. Hopefully nope, they don't work today. So this is a basic Quad Helix, and this is what they used. Now you can adjust this like this, and I thought he was wanting something like this by the laterals like that, but like hooked over them, so they pull them apart. But that is not what they wanted. That is not what I wanted either. Okay, so so what I'm going to attempt to build here, is it lap springs? Sometimes you don't know what Easyrx, helical, that's it. But there's supposed to be, ooh, that scared me. There's supposed to actually be double flap spring. What's this one? That is not, no, that's not what I want. Flap spring. No, that's not what I wanted either. Yeah, so I'm going to adjust these to where they are. So I'm going to try to attempt this, and I'm going to try to attempt it all in one unit, all one wire. This is going to be hard for me because I'm very impatient with Quad Helixes, but you'll be there with me to see all the misery. I'm going to call it lap springs. So you see over here, it's in brackets, lap springs. That's what I call it. And so when they see something in brackets, they know that's what I call it. even though Easyrx calls it Helical Cross-over Springs. And I'm going to save this template. Save. Yes. Okay. So that is that. All right. So let's get to making it. I have my model here, and I did not fix my camera here. Like so. I don't know about y'all, but I have I've been having a hard time with this. Oh, I got to get a paper towel. Hold on. So, if y'all been noticing, I've been having to use a paper towel for my background because it brings up this better. See, I'm trying a different camera angle because this light is in my way. It's in the view. I guess that'll work. It blinds me, blinds the crap out of me. Oh, I just turned it off. There we go. Okay. Let's try this. Not good. Lighting's not good. Zoom in. There we go. So this is the model. I've already digitally ditched the bands for the teeth, and I'm going to fit bands. Let's switch cameras over here. You're in here. You decided to be in here. You're not going to say anything, are you? No. Okay, here is my bands. This is my band kit that I keep stock of. This doctor has provided me with his own, but see, I'm running out of a lot of sizes, and I don't think they have one small enough for here. Let me go with their smallest. Let's see about fitting that on there. I like them providing their own bands. Oh, it's so big though. Let's see. I like them providing their own bands because I don't have to keep them in stock, and it's got the favorite attachments that they like. There we go. Well, that's actually a good fit on this side. A little bit big fit on this side, so I'm going to keep it the way it is, even though it feels like there's a lot of room. When my son digitally ditched this, he may have cut off, it looks like he may have cut off some of this cusp right here. Yeah, I can't push it down all the way because the gums are in the way on this side, so I need to move it. So let's get back to this. Got the fridge open? So I'm removing the gums here. And then that way I can slide this down just a little bit more. Hey Sarah, this thing's giving me like I'm having a internet issue or something. I don't know if the live stream is going or not. Could you check the computer in there and see if it's working or not? If you are watching, let me know. I don't even know if my vocals are working or not. I think they are. Let's see, where's my band pusher? You should just be able to go to YouTube and then just search Retainer Designer in YouTube, and it should pop up well, we'll see. I've got bad internet or something going on over here. Oh, I just do not. What if I turn on this light? I don't think that made a difference. Brighten this a bit. There we go. Okay, so I was trying to find my band pusher. I guess I'm gonna have to use a different one. So okay, it's good. Yeah, put the headphones on and see if you can hear me okay. I don't know if this is kind of through this. Oh, you can hear me okay? Okay. I would get Beckett in here to help me, but he'd expect to get paid for helping. Sometimes I do, because sometimes I have these real complicated setups on these live streams, and they're hard to produce the live stream and make the appliances at the same time. All right, so I'm fitting these bands. These are the doctor's bands. These are the smallest that he provided me. And it looks like it fits this side pretty good. And I'm looking at this side compared to this side. And this tooth, I think it was probably hidden by some gums. And so when my son ditched it, he might have cut some of that off. I think this is a more accurate size. Here we go. And then it being a little big, I do like it just a tad big, because when I go to weld and or solder, it tends to tighten up the band a little bit, making it stiffer and making it harder to get back on. Well, that's taking forever. That's a small mouth. I was worried I may not have a piece of wire long enough to fit in here, but with that small mouth. So I'm going to take this piece of wire. It's 030. I'm going to start with 030, and I'm going to try to bend this all in one wire to the best of my ability. Oh, Sarah, can you turn the AC on? Yeah, it's getting... Okay, so I do my first curve to fit into the roof of that mouth. I do have some music to play in the background. I should play that. Because this may take a little bit of time to do. Okay, I have my jar back pliers, and I'm going to put it on what I like to use the second notch, because that first notch is kind of worn out. I'm going to put it right on my mark, and this is my first helical loop, and as I go around, I'm almost pushing upwards, this wire upwards into that wire. There we go. That's my first helical. So I'm going to grab that next spot, wrap it around. I got a death grip on these pliers. It's usually how I break most pliers. So I have my first start here. Now these here, I'm going to try to keep them. These lugs, these seating lugs, they're used for helping the assistant or doctor seat the band. They can use that to push down on. Sometimes when you push on the edge of the band here, it'll kind of crush it. So this little lug here helps to put the pressure on it in the middle of the band instead of on the edge of it. So now I'm just trying to get this in the same spot. I wish I would have got more of the mouth in the scan, but let me mark it here, which is right distal of this molar, and mark it here. So this is going to be off the model a bit. Actually, I can move it up just a bit, and I'm going to grab right on that mark. Since I went past the molar, I'm going to put an angle on here like this, because now it's going to go back toward the band. Okay, let me grab this side. And then I look at it from the side like this to make sure it's level. Let me get the camera in there. So they're the same, going in the same angle. They're the same distance here and here. And now I'm going to tilt them this way. This is the problem part when using all one, and when you're going to weld these, because your wires have to absolutely touch your bands. Get off there. I'm just going to move this forward. There we go, pretty close. So you can see now I'm tilting this to the outside. What makes this difficult, there's a lot of these teeth are, not much of these teeth are showing above the gum line. So when I keep this above, you can see this is kind of going to be, you can't even see that. This is going to be embedded into the stone model. Let me brighten this up a bit. I'm going to try to get this to go better. So let me get some 3 prongs in here. I'm just going to curve, a little curve in here. I like to touch as much of this band as possible with this wire so I get a really good weld. If I was soldering, it's probably good to just touch it in one place, you know, but when you're welding, you really gotta it's gotta contact the whole way down the band. Sarah, how are your chickens? The chickens were hungry. How many eggs? 7 eggs. Oh, you got another duck egg. Is it too late to put them in the incubator? Okay. So, see, this is where this is such a time-consuming thing, and I just gotta be patient. I'm usually not very patient. Usually I go ahead and cut these here, but again, I'm gonna make those lap springs, so I'm gonna leave that where it's at. I'm gonna try to get this other side to seat like that, and I hope y'all can see. If I just zoom in just a bit, where I'm just touching all the way down that line. All right, let me back up again. And get this to flare out. And I usually just do this by hand, just torquing, twisting and torquing, twisting and torquing. I always put this back in the same spot. So once you get this side, you got to hold this side every time you deal with this side. But man, this tooth is, don't realize it until you start bending a wire to it. It's way off. So I'm going to back my coil up a bit there. Again, put everything back in its spot, and I'm going to mark this. God, that seems really high. Yeah, I'm going to curve this in a bit. And then curve it down a bit. So there's just a natural concavity over here, and it raises up right where my helical is. These are really notorious for embedding in the roof of the mouth. It's good to try to keep these off the tissue as much as possible. Sometimes it's impossible. So let me get this again. I got to get this over here and hold it in place while I mark this. This bend is very important. I've thought about using preform quad helixes. I don't know if anybody out there uses those. I had a friend, she owns a Ortho lab in Fort Worth, and she said she used a ton of preform because this one doctor just put quad helixes almost in every patient. So she was making a ton of these. So that's where a lot of this helped, or it helped a lot to get the preformed. And I guess you buy them in different sizes because every mouth is a different size. But there's something satisfying at the end of this when I've bent this whole thing out of one piece of wire. And again, I may not make it. We'll see. I may get frustrated. And the option is to cut. I'd cut right here, weld this part, and then come back, bend the arm, and weld the arm to the other one. But then I usually have to run a little bit of solder over that since I have two wires in there, and they tend not to work very well together with a nice clean weld. So I lay this wire on this lug, and having that lug there really helps to make sure I'm not too far down in the gums. See, I'm a little flared out here. I don't like this space here. So that tells me I need to take this arm and rotate it that way and see if I can lay that against it. So I'm going to grab right here, and I'm just going to push that arm lingually, I guess is the term for that. And then it looks like the angle is wrong, so I'm going to back up that angle a bit. There we go. Just those two made a big difference, those two bends. The bad thing about leaving these arms long is they get in the way up here. They start touching the teeth. So I have it this pretty much where I want it. I have this, oh, so close. So let me, again, sometimes it's really hard when some of these molars get rotated. Yeah. See, this is where I just got to take my time. That's why I'm playing music is in the background, because this might be boring. This may be amazing for some of Yeah, it may be boring for some, for others. There we go. It looks like I gotta, I feel like I need to shorten this. See how much longer it is on this side? Let me shorten this side. And I'm just gonna do that by grabbing the corner and pulling this down and then flattening this. And either that fixed my problem or made it worse. Looks like it made it worse. Yay. Here I am trying to build a wire bending 101 course, online course, to teach people how to wire bend, and I struggle on these. But I've learned to accept it. You get really good at some things, and then, or maybe I just don't do them. I'll do maybe 1 or 2 of these a week. If I did more, I'd probably whip these out like nobody's business. All right, so I'm looking, and you see how it's hitting right here, and it's not hitting up here. If you zoom in, so I gotta curl this in a bit. You know what? I do like this, the way this side's looking. Let me go ahead and curl that. I'm having a hard time with getting this, so let me go ahead and get this set. So maybe it'd be easier for me to work on the other side when this one's set all the way. So here's my attempt at doing the first lap spring. I think I'm going to put my helical around this point right here. Mark, and I'm going to make it parallel with this. Do I want to go under or over? I think I want to go over. So this would be a, what's 6? If quad is 4, what's 6? You're thinking? So this wouldn't be a quad helix anymore. I'm making 6 helices. So this would be a sept helice, or a septuple. Sept helix. Septuple helix.
Yeah.
Well, what's 4?
Quadruple.
Quadruple quad helix. Okay. All right, I'm not going crazy.
5 is quintuple.
So this is septuple.
No, wait. I got this wrong. 1 is double, 2 is triple. No, 1 is single. Duh. Okay, I'm reading it weird. We did this weird. Single, double, triple 3, quadruple 4, quintuple 5, sextuple. I'm sorry.
Sextuple 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sextuple is okay. I knew that didn't sound right.
Sextuple.
Yeah, it is what you think it is.
Sextuple.
Octuple is obviously 8.
Yeah. So sextuple. Well, like quadruple is 4, and they shortened it to quad
Yeah.
for quad helix. And so you can't shorten sextuple, then you get sex helix.
Yeah.
Like quad helix, sex helix. It doesn't.
Sexy.
It doesn't work right. We'll just say six helical.
Sextuple.
Okay, so now I've got that out of the way. Now I'm only dealing with one long wire. I just can't get this angle right on here. And I think I need to drop this down toward the roof of the mouth. Okay, so now get that to lay over into the band. Oh, we're so close. Okay. I think we got it. The good thing is this is a very flexible appliance, and the bad thing is this is a very flexible appliance. So it does allow for a little bit of cushion, a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm trying to get it into position on the band where I want it while I'm holding the rest of this, but it is just not, it's kind of fighting me. So I'll put everything in position. There's that. The good thing is once I get this bent and welded, that's it, this thing's done. This may be a little bit, I'm kind of jumping around on this. I wish I could get this to look like this, but it is not. I'm trying to look at it different. This molar is just giving me fits. Again, I guess it's too long. Let me shorten it again a little bit more. Don't want to do that too much and make the wires weak. Okay. Now the other option would be to bend a regular quad helix with the arms going forward and then just weld those lap springs into place. There we go. I think I'm getting closer, and I think I've said that before and I lied, or I didn't know I was lying at the time. There's just not much of this band exposed. Trying to get this not to hit so hard into the gums. Sometimes I just bend myself into a corner. There we go. It actually starts fitting when I get everything seating just right. I'm going to go ahead and put my helix in here. My sextuple helix. And I went over the top on that one, so let me go over the top on this one. Now these helices, they just give you just a little more slack. If you think about it, if a wire is, which one's more flexible? A wire this long or a wire this long? So if you can make a wire this long but have the flexibility of this, that's where the helicals come into play. And I'm going to cut this a little bit long. I feel like I cut that side a little short, but it should still function just fine. There we go. Now what I might do is weld this real good, and then go back and adjust all the front after the weld is on the band. So that means I got it in the right place on the band and everything, and then I can go back and adjust the front arms and the lap springs. Let's wax this down. Let's see how it looks. It's our first attempt to tack it down. And second. And then I'm going to hold these down into their place and let that glue cool. And we'll see if it's where it needs to be. I think so. This has got a little thing in it. Also, what I like to do is if I get my electrode in there, is I like to turn up the juice on the thing and then do a bigger weld on this side. So I'll do one here, and then do one here, and then do a heavier one there. Yeah, this is a difficult one because there's not much of those teeth showing above the gums. All right, switch cameras. That's the wrong angle. This is my Lampert. Might be able to see chickens outside with that angle. I have my on-off switch here. This is my Puck D5, and I set it to stainless steel. Oh, not too far. Stainless steel, and I use this far right setting for anything I do to a band. But I have to do some sharpening first, and I'll show you. I don't know if I ever showed this before on camera. I don't know why this is so far over here. I have a little sharpening device here. It comes with it. Well, no, I bought it separate. It's like $200. Plugs into the back of the welder. It's got a little button here, and it spins that diamond disc. But it does a really great job of, I hold the electrode against this ledge here, turn the diamond disc on, and then tilt it down, and then spin the electrode. And that gives me a nice sharp point. A sharp point will make or break if your weld is successful or not, or if you can even get a weld. So that gives it the right angle, just putting it up against this edge right here. Let's see if I can do it this angle, and then tilting it in. You can almost see that diamond disc depressed down a little bit. And I'm spinning this like this. I probably don't need to do all these. Maybe, I don't know how hard this is going to be to weld. Now, let me do this as the last one. And then eventually, you whittle this thing down like a pencil, and you get a little nub, and then you got to buy new ones. They're not bad. I think this is like 30 bucks or something for this many of these electrodes. I do have another camera here, and I didn't turn it on, or I just now turned it off. All right, turn that back on. And then I put the, can't see that. I don't know if you can see. I put the sharpened end out into here. It's got to be a certain distance from the nozzle tip, so it has a little measuring device slot in here, and I can probably actually show that a little bit better. So you can see there's a little slot on these, whether you're left or right-handed, and then you just slide that in there, and it tells you how far away from the, because these will, you don't just shove them all the way in, because they shorten as you sharpen. So that measuring will get you the right distance every time. Now if I switch over to the camera that's not showing, oh, because I take the dust guard off. There we go. I gotta rearrange. Okay. This is probably one of the harder things to get, because I'm seeing it really up close in the binoculars, the microscope part. See, I think that's kind of blurry. It's really focusing in. There we go. I think it got it. All right, let's get this. Where'd I put it? Oh, it's still on the thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one looks good. That one, that's okay. Double checking. I'm looking up to double check the settings are right. As far as I can go. And then we'll do this side. It's not touching as many places as I thought it was, but I think, especially if we can get to the underside, that's going to make all the difference. And we'll decide, depending on how flexible it is coming off the model, we'll decide if we need to solder it or not. But I'm going to try to not solder it and just go pure. I think I can reach that. I'm going to bump up a little bit. So if y'all didn't see that very good. This. So I was using this for going to the band, and then this one is what I use for this thick wires like RPEs and stuff, and then I use this for 032 or lower to fuse together, and it helps with that one band lug on the lingual. Yeah, I think that did really good. I'm going to attempt to no, can't get in there. All right, let's try the underside of this. Can't get to it. I'm probably blocking y'all's view, but it's all about getting the right angle. There we go. Gotta sneak my ground in here somewhere. Just double checking, make sure I'm getting everything I can get on there. All right, so let's see if I can take a look at this. Yeah. All right, let's pull this off. I'm gonna break this sticky wax here. Wish I had a better example with, better molars. Usually the best examples to make these on, the kid don't even need a RPE or Quad Helix. It's always the bad examples that need them. So I got my band removers here. I just really want to be careful pulling this off, just in case these bands are not as stable as I think they are. clean up this wax. And then you can see how much this tooth is tilted. And if I look at it down the occlusal, you can see how that's kind of kicked out. So I'm going to do this, which, okay, I think I can get a, I think that's good. So let's put this back on here. I'm just going to adjust on these lap springs to get them in the right spot. Mamad Plus, I'm using old soldering tools. Hey, there's nothing wrong with old soldering tools. You probably get a really good solder. There's a guy I follow on Instagram, Crozet. It's Crozet Man or something. And man, he does some beautiful soldering work. So if I haven't explained it, these are going to, once I get these adjusted right, they'll be like this. And then as the Quad Helix expands, they can flare out. And the doctor can just bend it here, put a little bend, or before he even seats the Quad Helix, he can flare them out like that, and then tuck them in, cement it down, and that will help to flare these out. And I did mention to the doctor, you may have to put a little thing of composite on the lingual to trap these wires underneath. But he said it just needed just a little bit of flaring, because this says it's trying to go end on edge on edge, end on end, right here. Let me take this off. You just growl at me? So there's a little bit of an activation. So as this thing goes like this, you can kind of see how these will drag along these teeth. So if he activates it a little bit more, do this kind of thing. Y'all let me know. Do y'all have doctors that like y'all to activate y'all's springs? Beforehand, before you deliver them? So that's what I'm worried about, these little end points here. I feel like I need to cut that one just a little bit short. It's hitting this. Actually, I need to grind those. Just kind of flattening those, make them look nice, and where they don't bother the kid too much. So now I probably could have, I just wanted them back here. I feel like I probably could have put the helices up here. It might have done a little bit better job. But you can also angle these down like so. There we go. So I'm going to curve these. I'm going to unactivate these. I'm going to let the doctor do the activation. and see if I can get that to curl back in. Do a nice smooth arch form, like so. I mean, it's in there, it's pretty stable. I mean, these move around a lot, but I think this is what the doctor is going to want. And see how one tucks down on this side and then that one tucks down. So they're like this. And so they'll flare out that way. But that's it. I don't think I need solder. These seem to be pretty stable welds. If the bands were rocking a lot on the wire, or the wire was rocking a lot on the bands, like if I did this and it started peeling away, then I would be worried. But I think I got it. What I could do is weld, see if I can get some heavier power welds under there. Let's see if we can do that real quick. I'm gonna move this up here and move it up to there, at the very end. And then, gotta be careful, because this could blow a hole in the band. So I'm just gonna go over my current welds. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I really melted it in there. That's great. It really just fuses. So with solder, you're just wrapping silver solder around two pieces of metal. What this welder does, it actually melts the two pieces of metal together. And with solder, one thing you got to be worried about, and probably with the welder too, is you have to be that you don't overheat the wires when you're soldering it. So the Crozak man, what's his name? I can't remember. He uses a hydro torch, and a hydro torch is really great for soldering small things like this, but I don't have a hydro torch. I use, like you were saying, old school welding. I use a blazer torch for my welding, for my soldering. But can I get a good shot of this for y'all? The welds I did. There we go. So I got a pretty good bead along the top, but I got a real heavy bead on the bottom using that high-powered setting. And it just did a slightly discoloration, which means I had some heat in there. But if it was black or something like that, it would have been bad. So I have a bristle brush here, and I have some high shine. Let's high shine this up. See if I can get it to polish real nice. I put a little of the high shine, and then I can just run it over the weld. Especially if I had discolored it or got it too hot. See, that did get a little hot. And so if you solder and you get the wire too hot, it will possibly break. You annealed it, I guess is the term. Okay, that is it. There's our finished. That's one great thing about the welder is once you're done welding, you high shine it, you're done. I will spray the bands, micro etch the bands, but this is our Quad Helix, or as Sarah likes to call it, the Sex Helix for the 6 quad. Sexy Helix. But that is going to, as this expands, he can activate these out, and they'll spread out like this and push those teeth out. Now like I said, I did ask him to put some composite on the linguals to keep these from flaring out like that. So the force goes this way instead of this way. But that's it. Hope that helps anybody out there have an idea for this. But this is the Quad Helix with lap springs or as Easyrx likes to call it, Helical Cross-over Springs. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that. And if y'all are still here, go here and register for the conference. It is in less than a month. It's April 5th and 6th. If you're watching this recording years later, check this website anyway, because we have this conference and it's the largest orthodontic lab conference in the world. And we have 2 full days of ortho lab education. And we'll be talking, there's going to be 3 wire bending robots there. We'll have a full exhibit hall. There's 15 ortho exhibitors there. They are Leone, Dentarum, JBC and Company. So all those acrylics behind me, she's going to be there. And then of course AOS with their wire bending machine and a couple other wire bending machines. A automatic aligner trimmer machine. And so that's really cool. And then of course the classes are about appliances, TAD appliances, mesh mixer software, the different softwares you can use on models in ortho labs, using AI, and then business, how to price your appliances, how to run an ortho lab business. So y'all check that out. There is it's usually $800, and right now it's $550. There's an early bird special until March 19th. And then we have to turn in our numbers to the hotel. You can still register after that, but the hotel charges extra, so we got to charge you full price on that. But check that out, orthodonticresource.com, and you can register. I'd like to see you there. But until then, I will see y'all next time. Do I have a in-stream outro? I do. So until next time, happy bending.